So Ryan Reynolds is Samuel L. Jackson's bodyguard. Does Samuel L. Jackson really need protecting though? Hi, I'm Danny Quinn, and welcome to another episode of First Impressions. On tonight's episode, Ryan Reynolds is saddled with protecting Samuel L. Jackson's notorious assassin and keeping him out of harm's way in the Hitman's Bodyguard. Ryan Reynolds plays protection agent Michael Bryce, who's down on his luck after his failed attempt to protect an arms dealer, but he's soon given another shot at redeeming himself by his ex-girlfriend, Interpol agent Amelia, played by Elodie Yung, who tasks him with protecting deadly assassin Darius Kincaid, played by Samuel L. Jackson, whom he has to get to the International Court of Justice to testify against the ruthless dictator, played by Gary Oldman. However, that's easier said than done, as they must contend with enemies that want them dead at every turn, and they must race against time to get to the court before the trial finishes and the defendant walks free. I'm a big fan of action movies and buddy comedies. Films like Lethal Weapon, The First Men in Black, the Rush Hour movies, and more recent examples like Hot Fuzz and The Nice Guys are all examples of just how great and how fun the genre can be. So when I heard about this movie and it was going to star Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson, I was pretty excited to see it. I really like both actors, they're both very charismatic and likeable, and they're both very funny as well. And the film's marketing, which made it seem like this silly, over-the-top and cartoonish action movie, something in the same vein as Commando, only made me more eager to watch it. And yeah, that is pretty much exactly what I got from this movie. A dumb, silly, over-the-top action movie that is very entertaining, for the most part. There's a few flaws in the execution of this film, and I'll get to them, but first let's talk about what works about this movie. What I like most about this movie is Jackson and Reynolds. Hell, you probably already knew that before watching the video, but yeah, these two are fantastic together. They have great chemistry, the banter between them works very well. They're so good that it also kind of makes up for the fact that these two aren't really playing characters per se, so much as they're just playing caricatures of themselves, and they're playing very much to type. The action scenes are also a lot of fun. Yeah, there's a little bit of shaky cam and some quick cutting here and there, but it's mostly tolerable. It's not all that bad. It's certainly not the worst use of this technique I've ever seen. And the set pieces themselves are also very entertaining, with some solid comedic timing and some very good stunt work, which is really impressive considering the small budget they had for this film. The action highlight of this movie is easily this big sequence set in Amsterdam. It's like a collage of all these different action sequences, a boat chase, a truck chase, a car chase, an on-foot chase, some fights in there. It's all very entertaining and all woven together very well. However, the film does have its fair share of problems, mainly with its supporting cast and its tone and pacing. Salma Hayek is really entertaining as Jackson's wife, whom he's trying to get out of jail because she supposedly did something in the past. She's very funny and entertaining, but also very over-the-top and dominating every scene she's in. And Hayek does a great job in the part. Elodie Yung as Reynolds' ex-girlfriend doesn't really do much except sitting around waiting in the courtroom for them to show up and occasionally calling them, telling them, hey, you have to get here now, or else. Which is a bit of a shame admittedly, but Gary Oldman is criminally underutilised as the villain. He spends much of the movie on the sidelines, he's not really given a whole lot to do. And while Oldman is good in the part, as he usually is, it's a far cry from the truly great villain performances we've seen from him in the past. And although the movie is mostly a very goofy and over-the-top action film, it does try to be quite serious in a few places, particularly with Oldman's character. He's presented as this very cruel, nasty, sadistic and ruthless dictator who's supposed to be an overarching threat throughout the film, but he never really comes into his own, and he just feels like he's out of a completely different movie. He's even introduced carrying out the murder of an innocent family, and there's constant talk of him committing genocide and war atrocities, but these scenes just sit really uncomfortably alongside moments of Samuel L. Jackson uttering motherfucker over and over again, and jokes about Ryan Reynolds' car smelling like piss. And the film does overstay its welcome a little bit. At 117 minutes, I think it could have benefited from a much tighter pace, and its climax does feel a little bit dragged out. But overall, I enjoyed The Hitman's Bodyguard. It's not quite as over-the-top or as raucous as I think it wants to be, or I personally want it to be, but it's still very entertaining with two excellent leads that work off very well against each other, lots of OTT actions sure to satisfy, and some great humour thrown in for good measure. But the supporting cast is kind of wasted, its tone is a little inconsistent, and its pacing is a little baggy in places. It's a fun movie that's best enjoyed with friends, and I'm going to give The Hitman's Bodyguard a 7 out of 10, and a modest recommendation. I'm not really sure if I could call it a great movie or even that good a movie, but it is definitely an enjoyable one. I would recommend it if you're into fun, silly, over-the-top action movies. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be back soon with a 3-for-1 review where I cover American Made, Logan Lucky and Detroit in one video. Oh, and I've just recently got myself a new Instagram account and a new Twitter account, and I'll also be regularly posting on social media, so feel free to look out for me there. But in the meantime, feel free to like the video, leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. If there's anything I can do to improve my presentation, I'm all ears. And until next time, I'm Danny Quinn, and I hope you have a pleasant evening.